According to the National Beef Association, this is how I'm going to start off my speech. Beef is what's for dinner. Today I'm going to explain to you why, in my opinion, I believe that beef in the beef industry is better than the poultry and its industry, and why I think that consumers should buy beef instead of poultry. We're going to talk to you tonight about about beef being the first biggest livestock industry in America, the quality of beef over the quality of poultry, and the modern meat industry. First, let's begin with a little bit of America's first big livestock industry, which is beef. Obviously, like the topic of this portion of the speech says, beef was America's first big livestock industry. And it all started off with the longhorn cattle that were in Texas that got imported from Europe and various places. There's some cattle that came in from tropical regions as well, whenever some of the first settlers went into Texas and brought some of their cattle with them. And when they brought their cattle with them, this is before the Civil War, obviously, and whenever the Civil War started, most of the Texas ranchers went to fight with the Confederacy in the South, and they left their cattle behind, and whenever they came back, all of a sudden these longhorn cattle were just everywhere. They were running around rampant, and there were so many of them, so many free-range cattle, that ranchers started staking claims of land and gathering and getting some workers together, cowboys, and getting their cattle together for their ranches. And then a northerner, Joseph McCoy, noticed that there wasn't much of a beef industry in the South and there was in the North, and so he became the first big cattle baron for the meat market in the North, according to HistoryOnTheNet.com. His first big cow town that he started up was in Abilene, Kansas, and there was various other ones like Dodge City that you know of, and Wichita and other places. And they would ship and the ranchers would take their cattle north from Texas and other places. They weren't only in Texas, but mainly Texas, north, and they would get them on the trains and they'd ship them to the east so they could be produced for the populace of America. And there are several cattle ranches in America. Obviously, the most famous one would be the King Ranch, as it's down in Texas, but there is various other ones. Actually, Florida has got some of the second biggest ranch in America, and Hawaii is up there, and Oklahoma's got ranches and everywhere. And of all the research I did, I couldn't find one chicken ranch in all of my search that I would go out to look in. And next, we're going to talk about the quality of beef over poultry. And the first thing that comes to mind is the ranking of the meat. And beef actually has a ranking system according to USDA.gov and their organization. And it is select, choice, and prime. And all that is talking about the marbling in the meat with the fat coming into the beef, which actually brings out majority of its flavor. And you can go and when you cook the meat, you can actually eat beef. Well, you can eat chicken too, but beef has been noted for been able to cook it with the least amount of seasoning as possible, where poultry, typically, if you go to order it or if you go to make it yourself, you have to just load it down with all sorts of seasonings to even get it to taste like anything at all. And chicken, although it has quality control as far as sterilization and as far as just health quality and making sure you're not going to get sick, it has different standards for that. But chicken does not have a meat ranking deal. What that means, if you got a chicken breast from Walmart or your local grocery store or anywhere, you can get them all and cut them open, and they would all look identical in the center. Whereas beef, with the different choices, or with your prime choice and select, you could see the different types of marbling and the different choices of beef that you could get. So it's just a bigger variety for the customer. And also, according to Answers.com, beef is the best meat for barbecue. Brisket is the main thing, and followed by different cuts of pork and also beef ribs, pork ribs, and chicken is up there. Poultry is up there, but it's not up as high. And especially in the South, barbecue is the king, which means beef is the king, since it's the king's barbecue. Finally, we're going to talk about the modern industry. With the consumption, the average meat consumption in America, according to MeatAmerica.com, the overall consumption, beef is 57% of all, and this was in 2013. And this is all for all meat that's in America. Poultry concerns about 37%. But that is also including chicken and turkey and the different types of how few they are, the tame ducks that there are, and various other birds, which the numbers don't lie, in my opinion, right there. And the total, and for the number of beef producers, which is explained by explorebeef.org, there is, in the ag sector for livestock, 60% of all livestock producers in America are beef producers. And while there are a great amounts of chickens running around more than there are beef, the producers are very low compared. And actually, although poultry production is going up, poultry producers are going down. So the poultry industry is trying to weed out their producers for some reason unknown to most farmers and ranchers alike. At the end of the day, all livestock producers are one and the same. We are trying to work hard doing what we love for our families, and we share a common bond. However, the next time that you are shopping for meat, I strongly urge you to consider beef over poultry. Tonight I told you about the first biggest livestock industry in America, the quality of beef over poultry, and the modern meat industry. Cattle ranching is not only a job for thousands of Arkansans and Americans, it is a lifestyle. When you eat beef, you are not only eating excellent cuts of meat, but you are eating a true American heritage that no other livestock industry can match.